Number 15. So there's a pretty crazy strategy that I'm surprised no one has put a spotlight on until now, and it involves the boats that have been around since the beginning of the chapter. If you head on over to the Shark POI on the map, you'll find Sky, one of the many bosses in Season 2. Defeat Sky and she'll drop a mythic assault rifle and the grappler. Pick up the grappler, now go find a boat. We all know that boats are pretty terrible on land, but with your newfound grappler, you can stand on the back of the boat as your teammate drives and grapple yourself around the map. Look how stupid this gets.
I'm trying my best. Different height! I'm killing people!
In my opinion, it works best during the endgame of a match where you could just spam the boat's boost and grapple around to destroy everyone's builds. Just a really disgusting combo. Number 14, the most efficient supply drop strategy. Supply drops contain the best loot in the game, but because of how slow they fall and, you know, the visible markers on the map, it's pretty dangerous to chase them. That is until choppas came out. Save yourself the chance of getting third-partied by just using the blades of the choppa to deal damage to the balloon holding the supply drop. You'll destroy it pretty quickly, and of course you could land and then just pick up the loot. Now obviously it does deal damage to the choppa, so make sure you aren't using this tip when on low health, cause, you know, this happens. Number 13, how to heal your choppa. So yeah, in the last tip we talked about how you could damage your helicopter to get supply drops really easily, but here's how you could fix it fast. Just go ahead and find yourself a campfire and fly your choppa down directly on top of it. All you gotta do is activate the campfire and boom, choppa will start healing. It's a really good strategy overall, especially if you're just planning on getting those super easy supply drops to get the best loot in the game. Just watch out considering you can't redeploy when you jump out. Not saying I've learned that from a bad experience, but learn from other people's mistakes. Number 12, the Loot Llama strategy. An icon in the top 5 gaming family is Fred, our beloved Loot Llama. They got removed for a little bit, but they're back, and here's a tip I barely see anyone showing. You ever loot a llama and the loot slides all the way down a hill or a mountain or anything stupid like that? Don't be dumb. Instead, start standing on top of the llama so the moment you loot it, you immediately drop down on top of all the loot and it just picks it up all in one swoop. Fred also doesn't mind you standing on him, so don't worry, I already asked permission. Number 11, proximity mine tips. There are a handful of ways to use proximity mines that you probably didn't know, and every single day creative players find new ways of hiding the mines. One of my personal favorite strategies for anyone who wants an easy elimination with these things is something we like to call a launchpad surprise. If you throw proximity mines underneath a launchpad, you'll be able to set up a pretty clever trap for an enemy who takes the bait. Obviously a launchpad in the open, who ignores that? So you can get some easy eliminations here without even putting the effort in, or you could be a massive troll. The trick works best in duos or squads because it takes a second for the mine to detonate, so you have more luck picking off a team with this than rather a single player. And even if you aren't lucky enough to eliminate someone with the trick, you could easily split up an entire squad by stopping half the team from using the launchpad, so it could really mess with someone's day. If you want another cool way to use your proximity mine, there's an extremely hidden trick I've never seen anyone talk about, which was the explosive frisbee trick. So if you throw down a mine and pickaxe it, it will be immediately activated, and as you know, mines jump in the air. But if you pickaxe it again, you'll be able to launch it in a direction, and then for extra range, you could even shoot it. It's a great way to get yourself a DIY frisbee that explodes. I know how helpful that could be sometimes. Number 10, the RPG grappler trick. One thing that's kinda sucked since Chapter 2 started has been trick shots, but with the addition of the grappler, finally things are getting good. Here's a tip for players that wanna either rotate really quickly or wanna use it for some sick trick shots. Basically, just shoot a rocket and then use it to grapple. That's pretty much it. You could actually pull off some insane tricks with it, and it might be really helpful when trying to rush people. I mean, grappling with a rocket, you'll definitely take a lot of people by surprise, especially when you're trying to push them. Number 9, the porta potty trick. So besides supply drops having the best loot, everybody and their grandma knows that vaults are another spot to get looted insanely quickly. Here's the thing, some vaults have porta potties inside of them. From one Fortnite pro gamer to another, use them. They are so clutch. A lot of people will open vaults, loot them, and then just walk back out, which, sorry to rain on your parade if you're a vault camper, but vault campers are a real thing, and when you walk back out, you're just asking to get gunned down. Trust me, this helps a lot. Number 8, best way to rank up fast. What kind of advice we'll be giving out if we didn't help you guys get XP as fast as possible in Season 2? There's a trick out there which will let you join Fortnite lobbies full of bots, and we don't mean bad players, I actually mean bots. Now for this to work, you have to create a second Fortnite account, and when you've done this, you can go on your phone, join your main account with your second. In the lobby, make sure your level 1 account is the host and join a match. When you join that match, you're going to be in a lobby entirely full of bots, but the XP is going to be the same. Leave the match on your second account, and then you can just keep on using it as long as it doesn't gain any levels. This is especially helpful with the new Oro skin challenges, so make sure you take advantage of this. It speeds up the process a ton. Number 7, penetrating builds. Okay, I know I said I tried to avoid building tips because, well, to be honest, I suck at building, but I use this all the time and it had to be shown. If someone's turbo building themselves into a box to escape you, it's one of the most annoying situations in the game. It's super easy to full heal yourself, but here's how you counter it. Don't waste your time and effort trying to force your way in. If your teammate has an RPG, fire it at the build, and then the second before the rocket hits the wall, fire your heavy sniper at it. I know it's a bit obvious, but it breaks the wall, and if you time it right, it sends them a very nice little wrap present. It's not only smart and effective, but when done correctly, it's super satisfying, trust me. Number 6, the Dumbledore trick. If you ever find yourself with a height advantage over somebody who has a floor and a cone over them, you know how annoying it can be to get them out of it. Especially when you break the cone, they'll more than likely just edit the floor and pump you right in the face, or they'll just rebuild it, so here's how to give yourself a better shot at killing them. Basically, put down a wall and edit it so there's a door on the corner. When you go to break the cone and floor, open the door so you'll have a little bit of cover that can help you peek the person inside the box. I would kind of treat this more as a habit than a tip, so just get yourself in the mindset of doing it. You'll win a lot more fights. Number 5, the Choppa autopilot trick. One thing that sucks about the Choppa during solos is that anyone can snipe you when you're driving and you can't shoot back. Here's a better rotation strategy where you can literally put your Choppa on autopilot so you can shoot from the side. Grab yourself a proximity mine and throw it on the roof of the helicopter. Then you'll have to get into the helicopter and change seats immediately. Eventually, it'll just take off and begin flying forwards on its own without you having to be the pilot. Honestly, super useful for moving into the circle, and it doesn't leave you all that exposed. Just be careful during the landing, we know how that could be. But moving on to number 4, we have a really useful strategy on how to fight against kids who box themselves. Fighting against tryhards can be really annoying because they're so good at building, and if you don't have a duo to use the heavy sniper RPG combo, we have other ways of breaking in for you. Just make sure you're quick at reacting though, so you can get the advantage. Basically, just stand on top of the enemy's box, but make sure you stand on the corner so you can't be edited down and fall into their trap. After this, pull out your rocket launcher, place 2 walls, and fire at them. It lets you destroy half of the box below you and allows you to replace the floor and get the advantage. Number 3, agency vent tricks. The wall vents in the agency in Chapter 2 are more helpful than you might think. You might not see the point in them considering it's just a hole leading to the next room and you can't crouch inside, but we've got a way to actually get through them without having to annoyingly destroy the wall. With a single cone, you can edit it to point at the vent, and then you could run up the ramp and get through the hole really quick. This also works with stairs, where you could edit them to create some cover for yourself, and if you get overwhelmed, you could just back right out into the vent, and boom, there's a wall in between you and the enemy. It has saved my life so many times when trying to get around places like the agency, because we all know how the agency gets considering literally everybody loves to land there. Number 2, Bomberman. So I've seen a few people trying a trick where you could throw a C4 on your helicopter and then boost into a build or ram a person and detonate it, but there's just a way more effective method if you want to blow someone up at little risk to yourself. It's literally the best meme strat in Fortnite Season 2. If you hop into a cardboard box and get your teammate to cover you in C4, you can then hop onto a launch pad and explode right as you get into an enemy's tall build. And because it's a teammate C4, don't worry about blowing yourself up. Just make sure you don't try to do this in solo. I've heard it doesn't work. But finally, our number 1 spot, the generator trick. Do you easily get annoyed by the cameras and the sentry turrets in every single agency POI? Well, there's a pretty simple solution. Search for the generator. Once you've gotten the generator room, just shoot it out or throw a bunch of C4 on it, and all the security systems in the area will immediately shut down. I know it's such a simple and obvious trick, but it'll make your life so much easier. Now we just need to figure out which generator plays all the music at these spots because it's so annoying. Epic, please stop playing music every time I land at the agency. But click on screen right now to check out our newest video. You don't want to miss it. You know this has been Tommy. Keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.